Okay.
Hi, I'm Matt Spick. I work for Sportsafe New Zealand and we're the proud sponsors of the ARL
Can you
Knights.
tell Corey that he's started the beginning of this thing? Tell him not to freak out. I'm just going to pad out till he gets here. Tell him that they're already doing the intro. No, leave it, because he'll just walk in and join us. Grant, if you can, just hold on the holding screen until I tell you to go live down here.
Yep, sorry.
Inside, mate, the admin crew inside here. Just make sure the ring's off. Okay, we're on a holding screen now, so I'm gonna I'll give him a couple more minutes, and then I went on. Don't freak, mate. Okay, quick sit. He's holding it now. You all good? We'll just do a welcome and talk, and we're still getting through it.
Is that going to be in the shop?
Okay, Grant, Corey's just joined us, mate. If you flip to us now.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the 2019 Sportsafe ARL Nines. We are live from Stanmore Bay Reserve on Auckland's Hibiscus coast. Troy, ready for another round of it today. 9 premiership teams set to go at it. Feels like it's been a long off season. It's going to be good to get the footy back.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been pretty fortunate. Sav, who's in the comms team with us, she's managed to get out and about early this year with pre-season training, so a lot of hard effort's been going in to get to today. So I think we'll see a lot of fast football. There's not a lot of big boys that are here in the Nines, and there's a wee bit of youth coming through as well, so it's going to be an exciting day, and welcome aboard on the Auckland live stream.
And we do have a little change from the draw, which was originally advertised with Glenora Bears pulling out, which means the pools are a little unbalanced. So there'll be 4 teams in one pool, 5 in the other. All that means is there's a win by default for a couple of teams in that pool. So it doesn't change the outlook too much, Troy. But we've got some heavy hitters here today. Mount Albert, we get to see them in their first run under John Ackland. Blue McLennan, his first run as Hibiscus coach as well. And the Howell Corner, so I think, are going to be an interesting one.
Absolutely. Look, my dark horse for today's action is going to be Richie Blackmore back at Mangere East. And I think he's got a pretty deep roster over there. So we're going to see some excellent football today.
Excellent. All right, we're going to throw you out to the field in just a minute now and have a look at the conditions here as Troy and I prepare for the first game, New Lynn taking on Hibiscus Coast.
And if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, the ARL Nines are sponsored by our official sponsor, Sportsafe, and always fantastic to have them on board. They've been with us for the last 5 seasons, and we'll catch up with the Managing Director, CEO, Matt Spick, a wee bit later on in the day, and fabulous to have him down here with us enjoying the football. If you're out and about over here on the North Shore, head towards Hibiscus Coast. It's free entry here for the Nines. And as Corey said, part of the intro was that there's a ton of football on down here. It's going to be really exciting to watch. There'll be some great tries. I think we'll see a lot of flair, and the field's built for speed. It's looking in pretty good nick, both fields, both 1 and 2. So, really looking forward to catching up with all of the teams and a couple of the characters that Corey alluded to, good to see John Ackland, the prodigal son, returns home to the Lions. Richie Blackmore back at Mangere East. Zane Polkington's popped up at Marist. He's over there. And there was one that you mentioned in the intro, Corey, as he's tapping away on the computer there.
We've got a few things going on in the background here as we get the team
Bluey
list
back
set,
here at Hibiscus Coast.
Yeah, look, and this is one I'm personally really excited about. I grew up in an era where Brian McLennan was one of my heroes, the 2005 Tri-Nations winning team 24-0 over Australia. It'll be a memory that's in the minds of many rugby league fans. So looking forward to seeing Bluey back involved with the Hibiscus Coast. And isn't it great to see these guys back with their junior clubs helping out? Of course, Hibiscus Coast will start the year in the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup, Fox Championship, I should say, sorry.
Yep.
And obviously Bluey aiming to get them into the top four and advance to the Premiership qualifiers for the following year.
Yeah, the new format for the competition, Fox Memorial, the Premiership, and the Fox Championship. A bit of a mouthful there, but look, it's well explained on the Auckland Rugby League website, and you can get that detail from www.aucklandleague.co.nz. And I do encourage you to, hook up online and just have a look at how the ARL have sort of reshaped the competition and created a wee bit of interest, especially for after the first round of footy. There's going to be the bottom four teams from the Premiership play off against the top four teams in the Championship, and that's going to look really, really good. So a great indicator today with a wee bit of the nines. I don't know if we can take too much out of it, but it'll be certainly interesting to see some of the young guys here today who've been putting in a lot of pre-season effort, getting involved. Now, you touched on the 2005 Tri-Nations. How good is the 2019 international calendar that's coming up? There's just a glut of rugby league coming.
Yeah, and I think particularly for Auckland Rugby League fans who are going to get a couple of bites of the cherry, so to speak, in terms of international league. We're going to get to see Mate Tonga return to Auckland. Fiji's going to be there as well,
cool is
Samoa, and of course the Kiwis. So look, I think it's a brilliant announcement that's been made. There's now some meaningful test football to be played throughout the year, and I guess a little bit, Troy, a throwback to the old days, really, where we kind of, in recent times, had gone away from that, hadn't we? But it's great to see test football once again being put up as the pinnacle of rugby league.
Yeah, look, and, being an old Carlo Park diehard, got to really acknowledge the Lions that are coming. It's great to see the Great Britain team reformat. And, when I think back to the glory days of Ellery, Hanley and that sort of era, there was some awesome footballers that were put together, that went on tour. So really, really cool to see that Lions tour, take place in 2019 and 3 games, the triple header at Eden Park. That's certainly going to be a big day.
It will indeed, and of course, Auckland's such a multicultural city now. It's going to be really cool for all of our Pacific people to be able to get out and see their team in action as well. And you mentioned the Lions, or the Lions will get a good taste up against Mate Tonga and then go to Papua New Guinea on the way home. So I dare say that'll be a fairly tough end to the tour, Troy. And I know yourself, you toured Papua New Guinea as a young fellow. You'll probably be able to give a little bit of insight as to how tough it is to play over there.
Oh, mate, it's extremely tough. And, and they speak like 38 different languages, but the one language that they do know and really are passionate about is their national game, rugby league. And, it's a tough place to go and visit, tough place to tour. And, they've certainly got some really committed, passionate people over there that, love the game of rugby league.
All right, we'll have a little look through now and preview the day ahead, and we do have about 6 or 7 hours of live stream action coming up. Very much looking forward to bringing that to you live and free on aucklandleague.co.nz, and a big thank you to the Auckland Rugby League for their continued support of the live streaming efforts. And we are going to new levels once again this year, and the Premiership season kicks off in just a couple of weeks' time as well. So looking forward to bringing you the action throughout the year. So as we touched on earlier, 9 clubs to take the field here today at Stanmore Bay. They're all from Premiership competitions, 6 of them from the top flight and 3 coming from the second tier last year. The Championship and plate titles up for grabs. The Mount Albert Lions hold the Championship title, having defeated Point Chevalier in that grand final last year. Now they're shooting to become just the second team after Papakura to win 2 Championship titles at this tournament. So a little bit of a chance at history on the line there for John Ackland's Chargers as well. And for the Howard Hornets, well, on paper, I think they've probably got one of the stronger outfits today. So no doubt they'll be looking to go one better than that plate title last year. And look over the live stream schedule now. This is what we'll be bringing you throughout the day. 10:30 is New Lynn Hibiscus. That's our first game up. 10:55 Te Aratu vs Mangere East. 11:20 Hibiscus vs Manurewa. 11:45 Marist vs Te Aratu. 12:10 Howick Hibiscus. 12:35 Otahuhu Marist. 1:25 is Mount Albert Otahuhu. 1:50 a good clash between Howick and the top flight newcomers Manurewa. 2:15 is Mangere East vs Mount Albert. And then we get into our semi-finals, and those will be selected games. We'll bring you updates from that throughout the day. The pools, pool blue is Howick, Manurewa, New Lynn, and Hibiscus. That is the 4-team pool that has happened following Glenora's withdrawal from the competition. So there will be a win by default in each round there when teams were in line to play Glenora. Pool white is Otahuhu, Te Aratu, Mangere East, Mount Albert, and Marist. And a quick look at that one, Troy. Te Aratu have got their work cut out. They're in there with all First Division clubs from last year, but boy, they've brought a good roster.
Absolutely. So Keith Hanley has moved across to the Roosters for this year, and I understand he's taken probably 4 or 5 of the Mount Albert Lions with him. So they're actually going to be a very tough team to beat this year, and looking forward to them going around in 2019.
A couple of other interesting ones as well. We mentioned Brian McLennan, his first game in charge of the Hibiscus Coast. There's a new coach for New Lynn in this game as well, Matt Carden, taking the reins here, so that's going to be an interesting one for them as well, remembering they won the plate championship in the Sharman Cup last year in New Lynn, so they're coming off a little bit of momentum as well. And one thing about New Lynn, they bring through very good young players as well. We can see them on screen there now, a couple of older heads who are going to lead the way in that team, but it's a team made up almost entirely of local club juniors who have come through the ranks, so looking forward to seeing them in action today as well. And a look at their team list, a couple of the names I think to probably watch out for on this New Lynn side. Watch for James Nathan, who was super impressive last year. He leads them around the park really nicely. He's been a long time servant to the Auckland game. And also Pity Keenan, who we saw in the grand final last year, was in some really, really good form. They got some exciting young players as well, the likes of Fred Safata. So as we see now, New Lynn go through there. Final handshake, and just as we say that, Hibiscus have formed a little circle on halfway out of shot. Our match officials for this game, the middle referee is Matt Johns. He's assisted on the lines by Grant Smith and Joseph Green. Joseph, one of our really good up-and-coming young referees, went to the Emerging Nations World Cup this year and is coming through the ranks really nicely. So we'll hand over to Troy now as we just count down the last couple of minutes before kickoff here in Game 1 of the 2019 Sportsafe ARL 9s.
Thanks, Corey. And if you've just joined us, welcome into the ARL live stream. Our official sponsors and live stream partners are CTAS, and they're on board with us for the next 30-odd weeks as we grind our way through the season. And as we're getting ready now, preparations as the last final team chats are starting to take place for both New Lynn and, as Corey said, the Raiders just off shot, and they're in a tight-knit crew. And the great thing about the Raiders is that they've always performed really well here at their home tournament. And nice, and once again, thanks to all of the volunteers that are here that make it possible to be able to do the live streaming at the home of the Raiders. And if you are in and about, it's free entry up here at the Stanmore Bay Reserve. Come and join us. There's a lot of activities here for the kids, as well as pie carts and hot dogs and all the good stuff that you need. And it looks like the boys are now going to get ready for kickoff as Corey's getting ready to join the call, and the computer's fired up. Great to see the ball boys on screen with us here today. The official ball is Steeden. They're our major sponsors for the Auckland Rugby League, and there's the young fella wishing that he could play in the nines today, and looks like he's going to be running the tee. So looking forward to all of that. A couple of the ball boys are just yelling out as we get ready now for the kickoff, and looks like Hibiscus Coast are going to be doing that.
And the Hibiscus coming off a good result a couple of years ago where they went all the way to the big decider, went down to Point Chevalier in the end in that one. Tend to be a fairly good nine-a-side side. Some small players, a very fit outfit. And New Lynn back after, from memory, I don't think they competed last year, but certainly were there for the inaugural one we held down at Lion Park in Fitzyounger all those years ago, Troy. As it looks like Hibiscus will be the ones to get us underway. So if you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, We are about to enter the first of our live stream games today. We'll be doing 13 in total, adding up to about 7 hours of live stream action. I'm Corey Rosser, joined in commentary today by Troy Hardy. As we wait for a kicking tee to come on, and well, it's only fitting to start the season with a missing kicking tee, Troy. It seems to be a recurring theme during our premiership broadcasts as well. The young fella gets another chance to strut his stuff and walk on. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1, 2019, Sportsafe ARL 9s, Hibiscus Coast versus the Newland Stags.
Whoa, bit of a wobbly bounce there. They got the ball back.
And they do recover it indeed, and do so well via Kyle Dean, who gets to his feet and plays the ball now, and straight away brings one of the big fellas in, who shakes off the first one. It's a good carry from Ian Mills. He's come across from the East Coast Bays Raiders. Out to the left edge they come now, and this is Ash on the ball, holds it up, and we've got our first try straight into it. And it is Kyle Dean over in the left-hand corner here at Stanmore Bay. Gets things going, things to come here today.
The Sportsafe action replay there, and as you said, Corey, you know, the big unit there sucked a few defenders in, crowded that space out on the edge, and from here it really was just pass and catch. And drawing the defender in really nice here, offloaded in time, look at that. And thanks very much, and great way to start the day for the Hibiscus Coast Raiders.
I believe that kick was away, which means Hibiscus Coast lead 4-0. Back into it they go, and that looks like big Samu Viangi. Getting things underway for the Stags. So a bit of a shock start for them now, but I'm sure they've got in them to recover. As we see a nice little break down the left hedge now, and Hibiscus Coast scramble nicely. It gets flicked back in field just in time that time by Patrick Ioane Unasa. Now they centralise via Emil Vaunga. Jump out of dummy half now, and they bring fullback in, but the ball is dropped, and this will be a handover. Hibiscus Coast ball. 45 off their own line. So Hibiscus get us back underway now. Their second use of the footy. This is Corey Craig, the younger of the two Craig brothers on the field today, and battling for a quick play of the ball. Initially it's called a knock-on, but then it's called back for a penalty. Matt Johns points to the spot, so Hibiscus with the chance now to kick for line.
So scoreboard's just joined us, and points go up. He's found the kicks found touch as they get ready for the reset here, Corey.
So Corey Craig to get us back underway. Taps and goes, and it is run forward by Turi Heki, second generation Raider. Dad played for the club as well. Another penalty, so Newland just getting caught on their discipline a little bit here, and Hibiscus will want to take full advantage of this. Corey Craig, he's featured heavily early on, hasn't he? Plenty of touches on the footy. He is tackled about 11 metres out from the line. Rushing to dummy half now is Jesse Hickey. Hickey to Hall. Buck Hall looking for that offload. Gets it out. Was that knocked on? Play on's the call. And eventually we do get a knock-on call there. So they hand the ball over. Newland do well to survive there after a couple of back-to-back penalties. And Troy, a few of those boys blowing hard already. And we saw probably the discipline just going away a little bit there as they got a little tired, perhaps just wanting to get their second wind here.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it'd be fair to say, you know, you call it early, you know, a couple of penalties back-to-back. You can't afford to be doing that in 9-minute game halves, and certainly make it a wee bit tougher as now the Stags try to grind it out from inside their 20. Getting a little bit of a shift on.
Newland giving it a little bit of air. It comes out to loose forward. Dart out of dummy half now, takes them up to 35 out from the line. Hibiscus lead 4-0. Game 1 of the Sportsafe ARL 9s, and a penalty here to help them get out of their own end. See in the background there, Tiatatu warming up for their first game. Really looking forward to seeing them in action under Keith Hanley and Phil Gordon. And as you point out, Troy, a good kick from Nathan, which has Newland deep inside attacking territory. And here comes a run off the back fence. Straight into it go the Stags.
It's their first visit into the Hibiscus Coast Raiders waters. And just as I say that, the ball's gone drop behind. Managed to regather and play on.
He's
Great
cleaned
little
up
run.
by...
And he's out.
So dies off there, and dies off almost in the exact same spot as their earlier set did as well, Newland. So they'll be disappointed with their inability to complete a set yet, and I don't think they have actually got through a set yet. So Hibiscus let off the hook again. We'll go back and restart that one again. Just looking at some of the body shapes on the field for Hibiscus, Troy, it actually looks like they've probably added a little bit of size from the squads that we've seen in previous years, and probably this man leading the way, Ian Mills. He's come across from the Northern Brothers last year, and will slot in nicely into the engine room for the Raiders. Buck Hall it is who carries forward. What a great servant to the club he has been. Craig is the dummy half, and then to Ash. They look to give it a little bit of air now. A little juggle, regathered and play on is the call. That was Regan McLennan, the son of Bluey McLennan on that occasion. Gets them to 40 out from the line. Out to this left edge they come. Ash dinks a little kick in behind. The chase is good. Newland need to be alert here. It's going to be a second try for the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. And it is Kyle Dean in once again. Doubles the lead for his side and doubles his personal tally in the process.
As we wait for the kick to come. There's the Sportsafe action replay. Nice little shift to the left edge there. As Corey said, you know, fabulous little dink. Had great weight to it. Certainly put everybody under pressure, and obviously his wingman knew that it was on. And he pinned his ears back, and from there really it was just fundamental. Picked it up, nice little try. All the players asked to come back on the line, and that's a shocker.
Well,
It was in the direction of the post, but that's about as good as that one, that kick got.
it's not the nines
There we
until
go.
you see a shocking attempt at drop goal, and we have our first of the day. So the score remains 4-0. Hibiscus Coast leading the Newland Stags. We've got about 2 minutes remaining in the half here. Nice little start to the day for us here. And back underway we go. Brought under by the foot, and they hand it off to the big man who will centralise. And do apologise for not being able to identify some of the players as they come out of yardage. We'll do our best to improve that as we go throughout the day. Here's a jinking little run out of dummy half, and it earns a penalty as well. Matt Johns quick to point to the spot, and Newland keen to tap and go by the look of it. That's Carden, another of the men that's come over from the Glenora Bears Premier First Team last year. The kick for touch just short of halfway, and Carden will get us back underway now. Here come the Stags. Can they register some points before half-time? We've got about a minute and a half to do it. Carden takes them up over halfway. Easy meters on offering. He's tackled 40 out from the line. Now they will centralise. Nathan got Keenan on his shoulder, puts Keenan into a good gap now. Keenan with fullback to beat, but it's a brilliant tackle from the smaller man. Keenan still battling away and picks up a few extra meters. Carden now rushes to dummy half. Options left and right. Nathan dinks a little kick in behind, but well covered by Hibiscus and escapes from the end goal as well. Brilliant fullback play that time by Nehumai Tiu. Another of the second generation Raiders in this team, and now they ruck it out from inside their 10, and if they just hold the ball here, Hibiscus, they will go to the sheds with an 8-0 lead here. Although they are looking fairly lively, perhaps not content to just die on that 2-try lead, looking for extra points here. Buck Hall now will centralise, hard and strong. Tackled under the weight of James Nathan.
No, strong carry. Oh, good offload.
Late offload at the line, and now they're into a little bit of open space here now. Another offload, ball spills loose. Lynn to the rescue to dive on, and that's just about going to do us for this half. In fact, it will. So it is the Hibiscus Coast Raiders who lead 8 points to 0 over the Newland Stags. Game 1 of the 2019 Sportsafe ARL 9s.
And as the team's going now for their team talk, and coaches will be talking about strategy, so on and so forth, you know, please do get online to aucklandleague.co.nz. A lot of programs coming up with the football coaching and development team. There's a summer blast program with the after-school care, during the school holidays. Also, the big Jets camp's coming up, and that's shifted, I think, to April 6th, I think, from memory. And 3 days there, and I think it's still only $150. If you've got a young next up-and-coming NRL player, but more importantly, to learn some skills and have some good coaching moments, meet some mentors, and be part of the Jets program. We encourage you to register for that, and you'll find all the details online at aucklandleague.co.nz. And there was one other thing I was going to talk about, Corey, and for the life of me, God, I cannot remember what it is.
Well, luckily for you got 6 hours to try and remember it and bring it back up. But just on the Jets camp, obviously it's such a renowned camp, the likes of Jason Tomalolo, Ben Murdoch-Masilla, even Stacey Jones back in the day came through that system. But it's not just for elite players at all. It's a fantastic way to start any club season. It's open to girls and boys now. It's great to see a couple of girls get involved in the camp last year as well, and that ties in nicely with the new girls' age grade competitions.
Absolutely,
which may have been what you were thinking of there, Troy, as well. That's been rejigged this year. We've got an under-12s grade coming in. Now, that's an age where girls can still play with boys, but I think a brilliant idea to bring in those girls-specific grades and get them ready and building into college football and also senior women's football. And I tell you what, women's football is something that Auckland can really hang our hat on. We've done brilliantly at it over the last few years, and it's just great to see these new grades being introduced, which allow girls to play footy from mini-mods right through to senior women's level, just like the boys. So some great stuff being done by the Auckland Rugby League in those areas, and do keep an eye on aucklandleague.co.nz for all the updates on that as we progress through the season. We can see there Brian McLennan just sparking a few orders early on. I'd say he'll be fairly happy with how that half started. Troy, every chance they've had, they've taken it.
Absolutely. Brian's always happy if he's 2 tries up at halftime.
Yes, indeed. It does tend to help. So the teams now prepare to get back in line and get us back underway here now in Hibiscus.
Oh, and just a quick news flash, Leighton. Don't forget Kiwi tag, senior tag. I believe there's still spaces available on the registration sheet there. So if you're wanting to get into the senior club versus club, and what a fantastic idea that is, get online, aucklandleague.co.nz.
So back to it we go, off the tee and offside from the kickoff. So
that's a little bit rusty.
When you're 8-0 down, that is possibly not the ideal start to the second half, and Hibiscus now will restart play from the half. It'll be interesting if they kick for touch or probably take the tap here, just given it is right in the centre of the field, and that's exactly what they will do. And we'll tap and go via Hickey, who then hands off, and now we've got an early spread on here, and this is the 11, Ben Liafa, another of the East Coast Bays boys in this team. Hickey is the dummy half, goes to Hall at first receiver. Hall, little cutout pass to Dean, who had a first half double. Rushing to dummy half now. There's Mave, Muru, Philly Mohala. Gang tackled there. About 25 out from the line. Hickey looking left and right. He will centralise now. And a nice little bit of footwork there. And they do well to hold on down low, New Lynn. Hickey. Cut out ball now to Hall. Hall with options. He will carry and is taken down. Pretty wise that he held on there. Dean was in a whole lot of trouble if he'd received the ball. Dean now clears the ruck. This is Liafa. Liafa runs hard but tackled well one-on-one, and that is brilliant defence from New Lynn. And they live to fight another day after that penalty conceded off the restart to the second half.
So New Lynn doing it a wee bit tough. A lot of pressure put on them down inside their 10 as they start to grind it out now. And really impressed with Hickey. He's had a lot of time on the ball. He's been really good distribution. And Hall's looked impressive as well every time he's picked the ball up for the Raiders. Back to New Lynn though. Quick run dart out from the play the ball area.
He's a really good player, Buck Hall. He's got that playmaking ability at him. He's played at the higher levels as well. And mentioned the man, there he is, making a one-on-one ragdoll style tackle. Hickey nuzzled in behind. Nathan now looking for options, but they're struggling to make yardage here now, and they're going to spread out to this left edge. Brilliant tackle down low, though, and into touch, and it's Corey Craig coming across and getting the job done for the Hibiscus Coast Raiders.
You can't underestimate how much influence Bluey McLennan will have on the Raiders. They'll all want to play for him. He'll certainly bring some passion to the club and to the top side.
So back underway. And the first carry it will be Joshua Waratini. She coached by Bluey in the younger grades, grew up with Bluey's son, Regan, as well. Hickey now with a tough carry forward, cops a little bit of a high shot, but all good as the call from referee Johns. Ash now takes it to the line. Look at that footwork from Ash and a beautiful offload out the back door. And it's only the third try of the day, but it's easily the best we've seen so far. Nathan Ash, lovely little bit of skill there. The round the corner offload, and he puts Joshua Rakadroka away for the try. And Troy will now talk us through the replay, courtesy of Sportsafe.
Yeah, the Sportsafe action replay. As you can see here, just slowed down a wee bit from the play the ball area. And it was all done here. Beautiful hands, great balance. You know, had a lot of traffic to get through. And look at that offload. Still just indicating, bang, there it is. And thanks very much. They're the ones you want to pick up, especially when you're out on the centres. And, you know, you couldn't get that any closer between the posts if you tried.
And just as Troy's been talking us through the replay there, you've missed another terrible attempt at conversion from in front there, pinged off the post. So the score will remain Hibiscus Coast 12, New Lynn 0. And we don't mean to be cruel with our laughing at some of the drop goals. I think most of the teams would share in the humour of it. It's not a skill that most rugby league players really need these days, more of a rugby union skill, and perhaps a few of those frailties come through when it comes to the nines. There's a really good carry off the back fence, and New Lynn get back into it, and they need to score in the next set or two if they're going to turn this around. And just as I say that, a spill from the big fella, Jordan Kefu, and Hibiscus Coast, they can probably put the game away here if they can get some more points. Carl Dean saying, let's just calm things down. The clock is now our friend. Buck Hall will be the first to carry forward. An uncompromising carry, gets to his front as well and gets to a fairly quick play of the ball. Hickey now jumps out and goes right. Ash, watch for the footwork. Gets the fend on. Had the offload ready there. Not forthcoming on this occasion. Hickey clears the ruck now. He'll go close himself. 3 there for New Lynn, and they will repel him. Tiu is the fullback. Options left. That's where he'll go. Ash with the show. The little pump. The kick in behind Liafa. I think that was bobbled. Indeed it was. Back to the 20 to restart here, but enterprising play there from the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. I'm really enjoying watching this team and the style they're employing so far, Troy.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Nash is certainly making his presence felt. Good to see him back at the club. And a little bit of defence for the Hibiscus Coast, and they haven't really had to do a lot of it during this match. You know, they've managed to maintain their sets, and when they've had the ball in hand, they've been able to convert tries. So 12 points up. Oh, and just as we say that, there's another fumble from the Stags.
Yeah, New Lynn, the handling really let them down today. But interesting, you mentioned Nathan Ash earlier, Troy. He spent a fair bit of time over in the UK with St Helens and Rochdale. I believe he also played for the West Warriors Club over there, which is basically a club built on Kiwis and Aussies over there.
Right.
Had a really good run at the Challenge Cup a couple of years ago as well. So a big shout out to the boys over at the West Warriors. And I know David Dyer, who will feature later for Te Aratu, spent a bit of time over there as well, doing the Kiwi thing in the old OE over in the UK. And a penalty here for Hibiscus Coast. We've got 4 minutes or so left in the game. And Hibiscus now are hunting extra points. Teal takes the ball to the line. Had Liafa on his shoulder. Didn't use him on this occasion. Quick play the ball now, and they jump out. Centralised via Ash, who comes back in field now. And this is Giovanni Spadotto, who tries to get to his feet but ends up coming up with the error here. And New Lynn now the chance to get their hand on the footy once again. And I'm still not sure New Lynn have completed a set in this game.
No, looking at my stat sheet, they haven't. Good offload.
So looking
they're just forcing it now, eh?
to get the ball moving a little bit here now. And here's some neat footwork. This is from the 15, who I'm just trying to locate on my team list. It's Julian Anderson, who's a convert from Waitemata Rugby, who's a winger for their top side in the past, coming in for a change of scenery at the West Auckland club. He'll be a handy pickup for them this year. Centralised now, great tackle down low, and I think that was Liafa that's just rocked the ball free there. And it will be another handover here now.
Just had just about had a few of the boys in the commentary box with us. And great conditions for nines too. You know, it is a little bit overcast today, not, you know, in the blaring hot sun. That certainly is another factor for when they're playing Sportsafe nines. And hopefully the rain will hold off.
Teal shakes out a one. He's got spiders on him right now and will take this one all the way under the post. Brilliant stuff there by Nehumi Teal. And Hibiscus Coast with their 4th try of the day. They're cruising at this point.
Mate, they've looked sharp all across the field. They've got a number of strike players inside that Hibiscus Coast Raiders outfit, and they all look pretty fit too.
You just see here, they just can't tackle him. At that point, it looks like he's going down and then accelerates through the gap. It's some really poor defence from New Lynn as well.
Kicks waved away while you're having the chat there, Corey. So it's a bit like Sportsafe ARL 9s has talent, and we're waiting to push the golden buzzer because I don't think there's been one conversion kick yet. And there's the end of the Sportsafe action replay.
Hold me, wait.
So inside the last minute and a half here, a kick from Hibiscus is a bouncing one, which is very nearly dropped. Yeah, that would really cap off a fairly miserable day for the New Lynn Stags. Last play of the game, they'll kick over the top, and there's a chase in behind, but they've got it well and truly covered. Teal looks up and says, I wouldn't mind one last run here, but Anderson will ragdoll him to the ground, and that'll do us. The Hibiscus Coast Raiders win this one, 16 points to 0 over the New Lynn Stags. And the first live stream game of the 2019 Sportsafe ARL 9s. A very quick break before we're back with the second game in just a few minutes' time.
And as we see the end of that game now, New Lynn Stags shaking hands with the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. Final score 16 points to 0, and the winners were the Hibiscus Coast Raiders.